My name is Lisa. I live with my mother and younger brother, Randall. I'm single and working professionally. My grandfather established a manufacturing company which my father took over, but he passed away last year due to illness. As a result, I became the third-generation successor and work while building good relationships with the employees.
Well, I think it's good to find a compromise like this.
I see. I was thinking about it a bit differently.
You have a lot of potential, so I'm looking forward to seeing your growth.
It's thanks to your advice, Noah. It really helps me a lot. He is Noah, who has been helping me with managing the business. Recently, he often visits the company, and discussions about the future have been going smoothly. One day, after finishing work as usual and returning home.
Hey, Lisa, don't wander around the house in those dirty work clothes you wore at the factory.
Yeah, it's all dusty. Your room is over there, sis.
Today is Dad's monthly Memorial Day, right? The factory workers gave me some sweet buns. So I'll offer them at the altar and then go to my room right away.
I'm telling you, it's a nuisance to have you come inside in those clothes.
Sis, just move the altar to your room already.
All right, I got it. To reach the room with my father's altar, I have to go through the living room. It's annoying and frustrating to hear complaints every time I pay my respects before leaving for work and after coming home. Because of this, I decided to move the altar to my room. My mother dotes on Randall, so I learned to just let her words slide to avoid getting tired. One day.
Guess what? I have a matchmaking meeting with the company president's daughter. It seems like she fell in love with me at first sight.
The president's daughter fell in love with you at first sight. Wow, I guess that kind of thing happens.
Oh my, of course, it's because it's Atsuro. He's handsome like me.
I'm really glad I take after you, Mom. If I took after Dad, I'd end up like Sis.
Absolutely. If you were like Lisa, you'd never get married in your life.
When Randall mentioned the matchmaking with the president's daughter, my mother was overjoyed. Meanwhile, she kept looking down on me and saying all sorts of things, so I retreated to my room. I was worn out from the constant remarks from the two of them, and it was affecting my concentration.
Lisa?
Whoa. Oh, I'm sorry. Where were we?
We were discussing how to appeal, but you look really tired. Are you okay?
I'm really sorry, especially during our meeting.
Is something bothering you? If you want, I'm here to listen.
Can I talk to you for a bit?
I've got extra time today, so it's no problem at all.
Actually, I told Noah about what was happening at home. He listened attentively, nodding seriously, which made me feel grateful. As we talked, a surprising fact came to light. A few months later. I'm home.
Hey sis, I've got something important to talk about.
Huh? What's it about?
My wedding is coming up soon, so you need to move out of the house.
What? Move out? Why should I have to leave?
Oh my, don't you get it? A newlywed couple is starting their life together. Having a sister in dirty work clothes tagging along is just too much of a nuisance.
A nuisance? But
Randall's fiancée is the president's daughter, so of course, she wouldn't want something so dirty around.
dirty? I thought since Randall is marrying the president's daughter, they'd be building a new house or moving into a high-rise apartment. They're going to live here?
Her father opposed it, so we have no choice. Anyway, I'll be living in this house, so you're just in the way.
But, as newlyweds, wouldn't it be better for you to rent a place of your own?
Stop your whining and get out, you bringer of bad luck.
Bringer of bad luck? That's a bit harsh.
Anyway, we're turning your room into a nursery. So stop being a freeloader and pack your stuff to move out ASAP. Ideally, your room should be empty by the end of this weekend.
If you stay any longer, we'll start getting rid of your furniture piece by piece.
After hearing this, I told them, in that case, be prepared for the consequences. Since my room didn't have much stuff, moving out was easy. After successfully starting my new life, I began making certain preparations. A few weeks after leaving home.
Hello, Lisa. What on earth are you doing?
What do you mean? I'm at work as usual.
That's not what I mean. This has nothing to do with your work.
Yeah, explain what's going on here.
What are you talking about? I'm at the factory right now. How would I know what's happening over there?
A certified letter just arrived. It says you bought the house and that we have to move out by the deadline.
It says we have to vacate by the deadline. This is your doing, isn't it?
Oh, that? Just follow the instructions in the letter and move out by the deadline.
So it is your doing. Why do we have to leave? When Dad's inheritance was divided, Mom and I inherited everything, didn't we?
I'm at work right now. I'll explain everything when I get off. I'm about to go to a client, so I'm busy. Don't bother me until then.
I don't care about that. Just come here now.
Stop making unreasonable demands. My work is more important.
Family is obviously more important, isn't it?
Make sure you come. Don't you dare run away, understand?
While I was working as usual, I received a call from Randall and my mother. They sounded very angry, but I didn't pay much attention and hung up. After work, I returned home with someone.
Who the hell is this guy? Don't just bring some random guy home.
I don't care who he is. Don't bring unrelated people here.
I'm sorry for intruding unexpectedly.
This is Noah, who has been helping me a lot with work. I asked him to come because he can help us have a calm and proper discussion.
That doesn't matter at all.
How am I supposed to stay calm? Explain what's going on.
This house was built with a loan that Dad took out, right? But he couldn't keep up with the payments.
Oh, did that happen?
Your father couldn't make the payments during a period of a significant global stock market crash. His work was heavily affected, with many deals being canceled.
I've never heard about that.
Of course you have. You must have just forgotten.
If I had heard about it, I would definitely remember.
You're saying that because you don't remember. It was really tough, and Dad asked you and Randall for help.
Now that you mention it, there might have been a time like that. But cutting back on our lifestyle is impossible. Why should I have to endure such things?
You were a housewife. You should have helped out.
It was his job to support the family.
Now that you mention it, he might have asked for financial help. But I wanted to have fun, and it's weird for a kid to give money to their parents.
When the stock market crashed, Dad had a really tough time. Despite discussing financial issues with Randall and Mom, they ignored him. They even forgot how hard Dad worked for the family. Dad was struggling so much and working so hard. It's unbelievable.
Bringing up something from the past doesn't help now.
Yeah, let's talk about the certified letter instead of someone who's no longer here.
Since you and Mom were unreliable and indifferent back then, Dad and I made an agreement. We signed a parent-child sale contract.
Parent-child? What? I don't get it at all.
Please avoid technical terms. Both Randall and I need to understand.
To simplify, Lisa took out a real estate-backed loan.
What's the point of Lisa borrowing money?
I borrowed an amount equivalent to the remaining loan and used it to buy this house. Dad received the money and paid off the loan. The loan was cleared, and the house ownership was transferred to me.
So, this house is Lisa's now.
What? Lisa's house. But what about the land? What happened to the land?
Yeah, the land was separate, right?
That was used for you, Randall. It's gone.
Used for me?
Yes, the land was sold to pay for your study abroad expenses. But the buyer was a friend of Dad's, so we pay rent to live here.
We can live here only. Then we have no place to live.
That's why I'm telling you to move out.
You should start looking for a new place soon before the deadline.
Damn it. I'll have to ask my fiancé for help.
That won't be possible. I'll talk to my sister and father about you both later.
Sister and father.
What are you talking about?
Noah is Randall's fiancé's brother. It turns out that Noah is Randall's fiancé's brother. Randall, who hadn't yet introduced himself to her whole family, had no idea who Noah was. When Randall and my mother learned Noah's true identity,
You're Rico's brother. But I heard you had a huge fight and left home and never came back?
Yes, your parents said so at the family meeting. So you couldn't be there even if you wanted to, right?
Fuck. My parents talked too much. Yes, I did leave home after a fight. But I wasn't disowned, nor did I cut ties with them.
Then why haven't you been back home?
I wanted to start my own business without relying on my parents. So, I moved out and started living alone. I still live on my own. I missed the family meeting because of work.
So it's not because you're estranged from your family.
Don't be ridiculous. My family and I are very close. I'm busy, so I can visit often, but we stay in touch regularly.
Then why are you with my sister?
Yes, isn't he just a work acquaintance?
He's more than a work acquaintance, he's the president of his company. Noah's company absorbed our company in a merger.
I see Lisa a lot for work, but I had no idea her brother was Rico's fiancé. I was shocked, but to be honest, I thought, give me a break. Rico is capable and good at her job, but she's a bit absent-minded. She doesn't have the best judgment when it comes to men. As her brother, it's complicated.
After talking with Randall, Noah seemed even more worried about Rico. Hearing Noah's words, Randall and my mother reacted.
Oh, come on. You make it sound like Randall is a terrible guy.
Wasn't that clear? That's exactly what I meant.
Hey, don't speak ill of Randall.
Noah, you don't get it. Rico fell for me at first sight. If she's good at her job, it means she has good judgment, right?
She has a keen eye for selecting work talent, but zero ability to judge a boyfriend. You understand what that means without needing an explanation, right?
What are you talking about? Picking me shows she has great judgment.
Look, I've heard everything about you two from Lisa.
So what? Maybe Lisa is lying?
What possible reason would Lisa have to tell me such trivial lies? Lisa doesn't badmouth family like you two do. I thought I'd make my own judgment after talking to you, but it's clear there's no point in continuing this conversation.
What do you mean there's no point? The wedding date is set.
Since everything Lisa said is true, I'll tell our father and Rico.
Go ahead, Rico will still want to marry me, so nothing will change.
If nothing will change, then there's no harm in telling them, right? But there's no such thing as definite in this world, so the wedding might get called off.
Ha! I'm not dumb enough to mess up a marriage to the president's daughter.
What makes you so confident? By the way, I'm all for calling off the wedding. Randall believed that his fiancée, Rico, was completely in love with him, so he thought there was no problem. My mother adored Randall and always took his side, no matter what Noah and I said. But when I mentioned that I hoped Randall's wedding plans would fall through.
You two have been saying nothing but nonsense.
That's right. Lisa, why don't you celebrate your brother's marriage?
I just hope Rico doesn't end up unhappy. I don't care about Randall. I'm cutting ties with you and Mom. So, get out of the house.
Cutting ties?
If you do that, we'll really have to leave this house.
You've been awful to Lisa, so it's only fair. You even told her to move Dad's altar to her room. You brought this on yourselves.
Lisa, moving is impossible for us. Randall is getting married, and we can't manage.
Why not get a part-time job? You've been worried about lack of exercise. It's perfect timing.
If the wedding with Rico falls through, sis, please let us keep the house for me and Rico.
It's not under my name anymore, so that's impossible.
I won't allow you to marry Rico, and our parents will oppose it too.
No way. I won't get to live a wealthy life with the president's daughter.
It's her parents who are wealthy. Even if you marry her, you'll just have an ordinary life.
Sis, please, do something about this.
You've brought this on yourself with your foolishness. There's nothing I can do.
Please, Lisa, arrange it so we don't have to move.
Handle this on your own for once.
Lisa, I apologize for everything. Please help us keep the house.
If we get kicked out, Rico will hate me too.
You'll need to rent a place anyway, so live with Mom. Make sure you vacate by the deadline. After this, Randall's wedding plans with Rico were called off. He had bragged about marrying the president's daughter at work, making him a laughingstock. The news spread even further because he had mentioned it to business partners as well. As a result, Randall lost his place at work and submitted his resignation. My mother, who had always been a housewife, didn't even know how to look for job listings. With Randall resigning, their income became zero. They couldn't get approved for a rental contract and had to move from the house our father left us to living by the riverside in the open air. Thus, Randall and my mother ended up living a miserable life without a roof, walls, or jobs. As for me, phew, I worked hard today.
Great job, Lisa. It looks like the negotiations with the client went well. It's a bit early, but how about we celebrate with a drink?
Sounds great. Tomorrow is Saturday, so let's drink a lot.
All right, let's drink tonight.
I continued working with Noah. After the incident with Rico, we grew quite close and became drinking buddies before I realized it. Outside of work, we found that we had similar tastes in food and spent our weekends in similar ways. We often laughed at the same things and got along well in various ways. Although my grandfather's company didn't reach a fourth generation, it has changed form and will continue to exist. I'm sure my grandfather and father are watching over me from heaven. I feel grateful every day for the fulfilling days I spend with my new drinking buddy, enjoying our time together. If you enjoyed this video, we'd be thrilled if you subscribed to our channel. Subscribing means you'll receive notifications for new videos, keeping you in the loop with all our latest content. Your support is vital to our growth. Let's enjoy and grow together.